Hi guys, Dave Burns here at Copper Gardens. This is March, not quite April yet, 2016. And we're working on a little project that I thought would be fun. This is largely to inform my client, once again, that we did not abscond with her deposit money. She lost a gate. We made one for her about 15 years ago, and it was placed and happy, and she loved it, and we loved it. And then some lowbrow idiot came along and decided he probably needed about $10 or $12 worth of scrap so we could buy God knows what, and soldered off its hinges. So we're replacing it now, and it brings a point that maybe is good for a discussion some other day, but most of we only know of 3 out of about 20 years of doing this that have actually been absconded with. And I think the main reason for that is that vast preponderance of the morons who think this is a good way to get rich quick don't look at any gate and see it as a copper gate. It's such an unusual item to make a gate out of. And they also, for the most part, they're not real easy to get off really quickly. So the ones that have been stolen took a little bit of skullduggery and pre-thinking, and one of them in particular, I was there to witness the thief's apprehension one day about 2 weeks later. I asked the police if I could take him over behind the truck and beat the you-know-what out of him, and they said yes, they would look the other way for a few minutes. But that being they didn't. I didn't. They didn't. That's just a slightly true story, but I modified it. The picture that I have is from an antique digital camera. Let me see how this shows up. Not well. I'm sorry. I can get the glare off of it, maybe. We made this for our friend literally 15 years ago, and I think this is one of those early Mavica floppy disk digitals. Just a horrible shot, but it's what we needed for reproducing. We also were lucky enough to find here in my shop a couple of leaves that I don't even know why we kept them. I'm not even sure what happened here, but I'm kicking the camera all around. Here they are. I think I just made too many, set them aside. I probably used them on something. And as I was thinking about it the other day, I thought, I think I still have some of those leaves. And we do. So I'm using them as a pattern to make sufficient new ones to go on here. Now here's the frame of the new version. Almost complete. Well, the frame is fundamentally completed except for adding hinges and latches. And you might notice up here at the top, it's a terrible lighting. I'm not doing this in a studio, as you can easily tell. But this was sort of an accident. I cut the frame all wrong, and that's the best I could do to get it back. Oh, no, wait a minute. That's not it at all. I'm sorry. Another story. In fact, this is representative of the first letter of the owner's first name, Z. And, of course, it's a frontward Z from one side and a sort of a backward Z from the other side. And I did not tell her we were going to do this about, as I say, 15 years ago. And we showed up to place it. And thankfully, she didn't throw me out. In fact, we're redoing the same thing again all these years later. But we're pretty close on matching the original. I'm sure that a few quality changes will be evident if you were to look at it closely once it's on site. But all of those are things we're probably more proud of than worried about. I still have a lot of cleaning to do, finishing and touching and work to get this ready to receive the leaves. But now the leaves. Let's talk about that before this becomes a 20-minute video here. I'm going to take you into the other room where this little device is already running, because it has a broken motor on it. This is my leafing gizmo. Be surprised to find out that I made this myself. Not entirely. Part of it's an old cheap piece of junk from China. Practically everything from China is a cheap piece of junk. No extra charge for that editorial, but I hate the crap that they send us over there. Someday we're going to find out the high cost of low prices, but maybe a few years to go. I had to modify this thing to work at all. What it is an old roller thing, and I modified the rollers, and then I added this air cylinder so that I can do what I'm about to do. So we're going to run this through here, put this seam in it now rather quickly and easily. And in fact, the thing that makes this really different, two things. One, it's now electrified, power-driven, whereas before it was hand-cranked, so I could not have done that. I could not have run the machine with one hand and driven this thing through with the other. And if I want to do additional veining off at other angles and whatnot, I can now do that because I have the I have that capacity with the air drive. Now what I'm going to show you here, if I can get set here, I don't like to do, oops, boy, I hope this didn't stop. No, we're still going here. I'm sorry. What I'm doing now is just showing you the hammering process. I've already hammered most of them, but I left this one just to show you what this process is like. So here we go. So now we've got a lot of depth of texture and texture in this leaf. And here you can see the other pile of them that have already been done. And this is mildly deceptive to show you this part because it actually moves along so quickly that it makes it look like, oh my God, that just takes a few seconds. In truth, this is just the beginning. I will have to hammer them more to get a smoother finish, take the ruffles out of the edges, and just refine it a good bit. Then I've got to cut the stems, form the stems, put them on, and then put each of these back onto the gate. So we're a long, long day away from having a nearly finished product, and then when it's nearly finished, we'll start to clean, and then we'll color. Then we'll build a crate, and then we'll talk about shipping. So all of this is pretty deeply involved. Oh, by the way, here are the new hinges, which will allow us to allow the installer to adjust everything on site. These will be cut, and then that will clamp down against the pipe of the perimeter, and he will have the option then to place them up and down as he needs to, and the latch will have a similar connection value as well. Then we're going to sneakily hide a couple of little methods to keep this thing from hopefully ever being removed again by some nefarious bad person. Okay, I got to run along. Thanks for checking in with us. I always appreciate you people viewing what we do here at Copper Gardens. Look us up online and look for some truly exciting new stuff coming along here pretty quick. We already have it well underway, but I'm not quite ready to go public with it yet. But we got some fun stuff coming up. All right, thanks again. Bye for now.